This is Josh Holyfield, and welcome to another episode of Make America Swole. A no bullshit, no sugarcoating, snowflake free podcast where I teach you how to step out of your comfort zone, stop dreaming, and start smashing your goals in fitness and in life.
What is going on, all you beautiful, fantastic, wonderful, handsome, good-looking, talented, intelligent, some of you intelligent, motherfuckers? I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I fucking have been busting my ass this last week or so. My wife and I both, we are in the process of completely remodeling or redoing the inside of our house. So paint, drywall, all the repairs that need to be done, got rid of a bunch of furniture, rearranged. Like, the transformation of our house over the last 5 days has been insane. So for context, back in October, I made the decision that I wanted to relocate, sell our house. Based upon kind of the market conditions, it probably wasn't the greatest time because of the interest rates, if you guys remember, were really high at that time. So what we did is we reached out to a realtor, and I basically said, hey, I know that my house needs some cosmetic work, but we're looking to sell. Based upon your expertise, I'd love for you to come over and give me a list of all of the things that I need to fix before we list it. And what I'll do is I'll do those repairs, and then once all that stuff's done, we'll give you a call and we'll list it. So she went through and basically gave us a handful of things. But the thing about my house is it needed paint. The carpets upstairs is old. The closet was destroyed as far as the carpet was concerned. There was a lot of things that we needed, but basically it was like this situation where it was, hey, I know these repairs need to be done, but why would I invest money into the house if I can sell it without doing those things? If that makes sense. So we literally followed this realtor's directions out of the gate, and the house didn't sell. It sat on the market. After the fact, she goes, hey, I think you need to do these few handfuls of things and maybe it'll sell then. So I do those things, still didn't sell. And then finally, like 4 months into the contract, my house sitting on the market, she goes, yeah, I think you need to go ahead and paint the entire interior of the home. And I'm like, okay, in order for you to do that, we're going to need to take it down. And what we'll do is we'll paint it and then we'll relist it at the original asking price. We had already dropped it $20,000 over that 2 months. Nobody wanted the fucking, I couldn't even get people in here. And honestly, the house isn't that bad. I think it was just a combination of shitty pictures and poor market conditions. Long story short, she's go ahead and paint. I'm like, I'm not hiring somebody to do this. How'd you told me to do all these fucking things when I hired you, like I asked you to? That's why I brought you here. We wouldn't be in this situation where now I'm feeling like I have to fucking jump through my ass to get this place ready while it's on the market. I was pretty upset. So basically I was like, go ahead and pull it down. And I just waited for the listing to expire. I'm like, look, I'm not going to reward you for your incompetence. The amount of money that she was getting paid for selling my house was a lot of fucking money, right? We're talking about, I think the split that she had on her contract was 4% for her and 2% for the buyer, which was buyer's agent, which was also atrocity. And she literally obviously didn't do shit. Put it on MLS, took pictures, and expected it to sell itself. Actually, the guy that I met, who we have working with here, who we're hiring tomorrow, he came over last week. I met him at jiu-jitsu. So he's one of the brown belts there. He's a coach for the advanced kids class. My son works with him during his jujitsu classes, and I roll with him in the morning classes every once in a while whenever we go. He's a Marine, and got in a conversation with him during class at one point, and he's, bro, really? Let me get your address and I'll just give you some feedback. And next thing he come over, right? Last week he came over. He goes, all right, here's what we need to do. You need to finish painting. You need to fix your closet, redo the closet, which I'm getting ready to show you guys the transformation of the closet, and a couple other things. And so I went ahead, and I can tell you right now, the upstairs we had partially painted, but there's a lot of drywall prep work that needed to be done downstairs. Holes in the wall from nails and things that were hanging on the wall, taking curtain rods off the wall, patching. It's just, if you've ever painted a house and doing it by yourself, or me and my wife, you know that it's a lot of prep work, right? So we fucking cranked out, since last Thursday, a 3,200 square foot home we painted top to bottom on the inside. Did a shit ton of drywall repair. There was a couple places where I actually had to patch the drywall. So we did that. Plus, I completely redid my closet today. So it looks pretty good. Let me show you a picture. Let's see if I can pull up the video. So here's what it looked like before. This is obviously, we had carpet in here, and I had painted it already. But this is what my closet looks like. It's a big ass fucking space. There's Coach James doing Coach James things. Let me see if I can grab the video here. I have to send it to myself. It turned out really good. And the thing that sucked is, you guys see this vinyl that's behind me on the floor. This is something that I did a couple years ago. And so what the plan was just to put the same vinyl down in there in the closet. But unfortunately, it's been discontinued for 2 years. So I wasn't actually able to get the exact color, but I think I was able to get close enough. You guys tell me what you think. Boom. So this is after the floor is done. It turned out really good. The closet it's a very large space. The only thing I have to do is go down to the store tomorrow and go get some concrete screws so I can put the transition down between the bathroom and the closet. Other than that, it's done. So pretty awesome. We got that done. I really didn't have very much time to prep for the podcast tonight, but I still wanted to take the time to hang out with you guys at least for an hour or so. And so with that said, I figured I used to do these live videos all the time on Fridays. We called it Fuck It Friday. So I would do a live podcast on Friday randomly. I'd have whiskey and I'd sit at my desk and hang out with you guys. It's not Friday, but we will do a Fuck It Friday today without alcohol because I no longer drink. And you guys ask me whatever you want to ask me. Health, wealth, relationships, business, online entrepreneurship, supplements, peptides, TRT. I'll even give you guys details about anabolics for entertainment purposes only. Diet, nutrition, whatever you guys want, man. So I'll literally sit here and hang out with you guys tonight for as long as you want to take advantage of me. Caleb, is it better to eat breakfast or fast when trying to lose weight? So this is like a debate that's ongoing. And the word that you're referencing is called intermittent fasting. And so what I'm going to tell you is, in order to lose body fat, before we integrate any of these fad diets, keto, intermittent fasting, paleo, carnivore, you name it, this very first step is I have to be in a deficit of calories. If I'm not in a deficit of calories, then nothing else matters. So if you go to my website, joshholyfield.com, not the Iron Forge, joshholyfield.com, and you scroll all the way to the bottom of the homepage, what you'll see is there's a link to the IFYM macro calculator. Okay. On that calculator, all you do is fill in your information. It'll ask you exactly what your height, your age, your weight, your activity level, your goal, all that stuff. And then what it'll do is it'll give you your calculated macros based upon all that. What that will do is give you a starting point. Now, keep in mind, this is not written in stone. It's quite possible for you to get those macros and still not see progress. Okay. Those macros are intended to give you a starting point, right? It's like an 80% educated guess based upon a really fancy, nerdy equation. Okay. From there, your responsibility is to track your intake, try to get as close to those macros as possible, measure your progress, your weight, your measurements around your waist or wherever else, depending upon what your goal is. Take pictures, and then based upon that, you should be adjusting every 2 to 4 weeks based upon the progress, not what the calculator says. So if I have my macros and I'm struggling with staying on track with losing weight because I'm hungry or I have all these other distractions or whatever the case may be, then we can introduce something like intermittent fasting or adjusting our diet or the style of our diet to accommodate preference, energy levels, performance, all that stuff. And so you look at all of that other stuff as just tools that you can implement to help you comply with being in a deficit. Okay. To answer your question, Caleb, is it better? I don't know. That depends on you, your lifestyle, your preferences, your performance, your goals, and all the things that, pertain to even your genetics, your hormones, the quality of your sleep. There's so many factors that are going to impact your progress outside of I skipped breakfast. Some people do well, some people don't. Okay. What I would do is before you worry about skipping breakfast and fasting and doing all that stuff, first start tracking. Track your food. My mobile app has a native food tracking capability in it. If you have trouble with that, send me a message and I'll send you a guide on show you how to use it. If you don't like the food tracking in my app, you can use MyFitnessPal, which is free if you're okay with the ads that come with it. And I think MyFitnessPal even has a paid version where you don't have to pay for the ads. And those food databases, what it'll do is it'll give you the ability to track your food and it'll tell me tell you how many calories and all that stuff that you've eaten. So it'll give you a better idea of where you are, how compliant you are with the nutrition, and then it'll allow you to make educated decisions on what adjustments you need to be making based upon the results that you see. If you're not tracking your food and you're not tracking your progress, it doesn't fucking matter what diet you do. You are not going to see the progress that you want. Okay. It's not going to be scalable. It's not going to be sustainable. Tom Hagler, hope you're doing well out there, man. Looking a little lean. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if you guys know this, but about 5 weeks ago, I started First Form's 8-week transformation challenge, which I think the prize is 50 grand. But if you win their challenge, which I feel like I have a really good chance so far, I've already lost 20 pounds. I'm very lean. I'm actually lighter and leaner than I probably have been since you guys have known me, since I started the Iron Forge. But if you win, then you go toe-to-toe with Andy. He posts us on his Instagram, him and his transformation with your transformation. If you beat Andy, he basically committed to giving an additional 50 grand on top of the prize. So there's $100,000 on the table. I didn't do it for the 50 grand for the First Form or the 50 grand for Andy. I did it to beat Andy. I've been pretty committed, man. We're talking about the only thing that I've had to drink is 0-calorie energy drinks. I've been drinking these First Form energy drinks. They seem to be pretty good. I like the orange ones, and water. That's it. No alcohol, no sugar, no sodas, nothing, just water. I've been eating less than 100 carbs a day for the last 5 weeks. I've been hitting my protein target of 230 grams of protein every day, hitting my fat targets right at 2,200 calories a day. on track, and my body fat is fucking melting. In addition to that, I've been doing jujitsu 4 days a week, plus lifting and doing cardio after my workouts, following the fire team protocol because I'm leading alpha team right now. And so I'm doing what they're doing, plus I'm doing jujitsu in the mornings. And right now I feel better than I ever have. As a 35-year-old adult male, I am performing better. I'm stronger. I'm more agile. I'm struggling with a little bit of aches and pains related to joints and stuff, but that's because I'm doing so much. But yeah, man, I appreciate you noticing, Tom, because I've been working really hard and staying consistent with this, and I'm fucking dominating. So that's cool. Sam, what's up, bro? Anyone hitting the cold plunge routine in the morning? What's up? Hey, so actually, Sam, if you're part of Fire Teams Phase 2, which you need to sign up for Fire Teams, Sam. I don't know why you haven't done that already. The elites are doing plunges 3 days a week. And every single one of them fucking swears by it, strictly to help with the recovery. And so maybe some of the guys from Fire Team Elites can drop some comments and feedback about the cold plunges and the cold showers. And so Fire Teams does cold showers, Elites, they do plunges. Gabe, I'm getting the garage plan that you got tomorrow. How do I need to start off as far as dieting? So when you buy one of my programs, Gabe, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to send you a series of emails. 2 emails that you want to look out specifically for is the first one is it's going to invite you to create your account with the mobile app. Create a password, download the mobile app, log into the mobile app. Your program will automatically be loaded to start the following Monday. So if you were to buy it tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the plan will be scheduled to start next Monday, the 15th. The other email you want to look out for is you'll get an email that has the subject line. It says your members hub access. Inside of the members hub, you're going to get access to all of my training, nutrition, mindset, like all the stuff that comes with your program that's educational. It's like an online course that you get access to. In that, you're going to find directions, step 1, step 2, step 3 under nutrition, how to calculate your macros. Based upon your macros, here's the meal plan, how to download your meal plan. And what I've done is I've set it up so that you have meal plans based upon your macro targets that you can download directly from the Members Hub. Okay. So just go into the Members Hub, calculate your macros, download your meal plan, print your meal plan, follow it to a T. That simple. Okay. I've made this stuff idiot proof. If you have any trouble with getting into the Members Hub or accessing any of that stuff, just shoot me a message and I'll do my best to make sure that you get the resources that you need. So I'm hiking with a ruck right now. I've got 4 miles. Can I get the same result as if I was running? Again, what is your expected result? Okay. If you're running versus if you're not running versus you're walking, here's what I'm going to say. The result that you get from cardiovascular health is your lungs and your heart. That's what we're trying to strengthen. Okay. That's why I have my guys doing cardio, especially HIIT cardio. As far as the fat loss is concerned, that's a bonus, right? And to be quite frank with you, cardio is one of the worst things that you can do as a way to primarily lose fat. Okay. So what cardio is going to do is basically, and this is how I look at it, it's going to burn through the glycogen that you have stored so that you can more quickly get to a place where you're using fat as a source of fuel. That's really what cardio is. Now, from that perspective, the reason why I am a huge proponent of cardio has nothing to do with the fat loss, because be quite frank with you, you can get fucking 6-pack shredded without doing a lick of cardio just by modifying your diet and lifting weights. And that's a fact. But the benefit that it has to your heart, your lungs, all that, walking and running is going to win every time. right? The more difficult, the better it is for you. It's really how it works. Now, when it comes to burning fat, losing, believe it or not, walking, especially in an incline or hiking, is actually better for fat loss. The only thing I would say is better than just straight walking or hiking, like you describe, is HIIT cardio, which is interval training. So focus on making sure that you keep your cardio between, depending upon your age and your weight, between 120 and 150 beats per minute. The goal is zone 2 cardio. Okay. Let me help you calculate zone 2. I don't know the calculator or the calculation off the top of my head, so let me Google it. So basically what you want to do is take your maximum heart rate, and the way that you find your maximum heart rate is 220 minus your age. So if you're 30, your max heart rate would be 190. Okay. Zone 2 is 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. So for a 30-year-old male, your zone 2 range would be 130 to 150, 133 to 152. That's where you want to stay. Okay. So if you want the best way to burn fat using cardio, 220 minus your age times 0.7 times 0.8, between those two numbers, 70 to 80%. Archer, I'm on my feet all day and I'm only doing one leg day a week. Should I up that? Also, is there a way to track calories burned day to day? So as far as the first question is concerned, the only way I can tell you whether or not you should do 1 or 2 or 5 or whatever leg days is to first tell you that in order for you to do a twice per week split for your muscle groups, you need to make sure that your nutrition and your sleep are where they need to be so that your recovery is sufficient enough to get you through that type of training frequency. Okay. That's why the bro split is so beneficial for so many people, is because most of them aren't eating the way they should be or sleeping the way they should be. And so their recovery suffers. And what the bro split does is it gives them a full week to recover before they hit the muscle again, which basically maximizes their ability to get the full potential for growth. Now, when we start doing a 2 times per week split, you have to make sure that your food consumption is where it needs to be and your sleep in order to support that frequency. Okay. So that kind of leads me into your next question. Is there a way to track the calories that you burn day to day? Yes and no. So if you have something like an activity tracker, active Apple Watch, Fitbit, it's going to give you an estimate of what your daily expenditure is. But to be quite frank with you, the only way to really know how many calories per day you're burning at rest is to measure your progress. So we can calculate active calories much better than we can resting calories. I don't know what your metabolism is. And there's so many variables as far as your metabolism is concerned. It's going to vary from day to hour to minute. And so those watches and those activity trackers do a seemingly okay job of kind of estimating that, but there's no way for it to be 100% accurate. The only way to identify what your maintenance calories really are, which is what you're asking, is to be immensely consistent with your food, your tracking, the types of food you eat, the sleep the amount of time you spend sleeping, how consistent you are with your training, and make sure that the only variable that changes is your active calorie or your resting calories. Then from there, you can get an idea of how many calories you're burning per day at rest based upon the changes in your body that are occurring with the current food consumption activity level, sleep, etc. But again, understand that your caloric intake and your metabolism is a moving target. This is something that's constantly updating and changing based upon your body's naturally adapting state. Believe it or not, when I go into a caloric deficit, my metabolism begins to slow because my body's goal is to be at that what we call homeostasis, which is equal. I want to be burning as many calories as I'm consuming, and I want to stay where I don't have an excess of resources, but I also don't want to be in a deficit. And so your metabolism is trying to optimize based upon your activity levels, your sleep, your food consumption, all those things. And so what we're doing is we're basically trying to, I would say trick, but we have to operate under the assumption that our body is going to be changing while we're making these adjustments, which is why it's so important to track everything so that you can make educated decisions on what you change as far as your activity, your food, and your sleep are concerned. Hopefully that answers your question. I know it seems a little bit vague, but there's a lot more to that question than can I track how many calories I'm burning in a day? The answer is hopefully that helps. All right, James, do you recommend eating 100% of the protein? Or is it okay to use protein supplements for a good part of the protein daily? My recommendation is and always will be whole foods always first. The second you start introducing replacements, the quality of that food is going to lower, which is going to lower the quality of your results, especially liquid. So the value of protein when it comes from meat, okay, we're not talking about that weird vegan shit, okay, meat, chicken, beef, fish, etc., is my body actually takes a lot of time and it expends an immense amount of energy to digest and convert that protein into what I need it for, right? So it's breaking that protein down. And the digestion process for the steak that I just ate before this, my body is going to be digesting this for 3 days before I see it on the other end. Okay? When you consume protein through a liquid source, it's not hanging out in your large intestine for long enough for it to be broken down and digested the same way. That's why if you ever notice you drink a lot of protein shakes, you get the shits, it goes right through you because it's liquid. The solid nature of food is what gives your body the time that it needs to digest that food. Liquid, it does not. That's why if you've noticed, like medicines that are liquid form, you absorb almost instantly, versus a pill form of a medicine is going to be more of a slower time release because it takes your body time to break that pill down and then it gets released into your bloodstream, versus liquid is almost right away. Right? Same concept, except the only difference is the protein source, your body doesn't have the ability to break it down, employ it, use it, and send it where it needs to go in time for that protein to make, or that protein shake to make it through your digestive tract. Okay. So you are going to be shitting out a lot of the protein drinks that you consume. One of the ways that you can mitigate that is to combine those shakes with a high fiber carb. Like one of the tricks that I like to do is if I'm doing a protein shake, especially as a meal replacement, I'll do it with oatmeal instead of water or milk, or use a little bit of whole or skim milk and put oatmeal in it so that it gives it that thicker consistency and it's not just liquid that's passing through me. Hopefully that answers your question, bro. Paul Wood, hey man, my 15-year-old has been going to the gym with me for almost a year and asked recently if he can use creatine. Yeah, man, absolutely. Creatine, believe it or not, is the most studied, reliable, incredible fucking supplement for just about anybody. And the great thing about creatine is it's actually something that's already produced by your body naturally. And I actually just did a post on this a couple weeks ago. Recent studies have shown that most people are deficient in the naturally occurring creatine that their body produces. So adding that supplement is healthy for him. It's going to increase his performance. He's going to put on some mass, especially at his age. It's going to help with his confidence. There's 1,000 reasons why you should absolutely encourage your son to use creatine. Now, don't go crazy with it and spend all sorts of money on all this other bullshit supplements. At best, most, maybe a protein shake like I just talked about, and then add some creatine up to 5 grams a day after your workouts. And dude, that kid is going to see a huge difference in his physique and his performance. I would definitely suggest you put him on that. Hopefully that answers your question, Paul. Danny Miller, I love the workout. I've gained 10 pounds in 4 months. 11 pounds, it looks like. Hell yeah, from no gym to 5 days a week and look forward every day. Absolutely, Danny. Welcome, brother. Glad to hear you're enjoying the programs. Tell us what program you're doing, and maybe some of the other guys can jump on with you. Archer, I'm 24. I sleep 7 to 8.5 hours a night. My diet consists of 80% wild game, rabbit, deer, and quail. And I'm trying to get to where elk hunting in Colorado won't absolutely roll me. I would suggest you start doing some weighted vest, some hikes, man. Go on some rucks. I think it was Dan who was saying that he's been doing a lot of rucks lately. Or maybe it was, I don't remember, Justin or Dan, one of those guys. They committed to doing something this month where it was like so many miles to stop soldier suicide, which coming from a veteran who has attempted suicide, I could tell you right now, whether or not you're fucking walking with a rucksack on is not going to affect whether or not I want to off myself. Just some insight there, right? That's why whenever I see those 22 a day push-ups and all those fucking veteran suicide awareness, we're aware. You guys want to know a better way to help with mitigate veteran suicide? Give one of them a call and see how he's doing. Like, I get the sentiment of all these veteran suicide awareness social media trends that happen. I guess it's cool, but let's just be honest and admit that it's not about the veterans. It's about you getting the fucking attention and using veterans as the platform for veterans to get the dopamine of people fucking high-fiving you for doing push-ups or walking with a rucksack. Like, maybe I'm being a little bit of a cynic about this, but like, I've been the vet who has been depressed and struggling with PTSD and fucking gotten myself shit-faced drunk and tried to swallow a fucking 9mm. And I can tell you right now, the last thing I was thinking about was, man, what about all these guys who were doing 22 push-ups for me? What would have fucking helped if one of the people who claimed to be my friend and to look out for me went out of their way to fucking reach out to me and tell me how grateful they were that I existed and maybe set up a time to go do something together or just check on me and see how I was doing. That would do 1,000 times more than any of these fucking bullshit veteran nonsense propaganda social media trends. But nobody wants to have that conversation because we want to raise awareness for veteran suicide. So if you want to raise awareness for veteran suicide, go out of your way and fucking support one directly. That's what you can do. Not to completely transition this, but every time I see one of those posts, it triggers me because I really feel that people try to deploy the emotions associated to things like that as a way to garner attention for themselves. And I don't think it's intentional, but that's exactly what it ends up being. Like 22 a day for veteran suicide awareness. I fucking guarantee you there's not a single veteran who's contemplating suicide who those 22 push-ups have saved since conception over the last 10 years. Guaranteed. Just my opinion. Jason Albertson. Why is it hard for me to lose the last 30 pounds? of my weight. The reason for that is because as you lose weight, as you become a smaller person, the amount of food that your body requires becomes less. And so naturally, in order for you to continue to lose weight and get that last, say, 30 more pounds off, you have to continue to decrease your intake over time to align with your new body composition. Okay. Again, going back to the previous responses that I gave related to nutrition, that's why it's so important to track your progress and your food. Okay. This is basic math. Calories in, calories out. If the number of calories I burn exceed the number of calories I consume, what's going to happen? Two things. First, my body is going to have to go into its storage in order to compensate for that deficit. That's how we burn fat. However, when I do that, it's also going to start to work to optimize your metabolism so it doesn't have to use stores. Okay, so your goal should not be to be in a huge, massive deficit. It should be to hug that, whatever your maintenance calories are, 10 to 20% at most. Hug it. And then what you can do is you want to stay as close to being in that 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit. I'd even make the argument that 1,000 is too much. 500 calorie deficit, which is about a pound of body fat a week. Okay, if I stay in a 500 calorie deficit per day, I know that I should be losing about a pound a week. Okay, which is sustainable. I can do that all fucking day. I'm not going to be starving. My body's not going to go into panic mode. I'm going to be fine. And then when I stop seeing that 1 pound per week progress, I drop my calories by a few hundred more. Get myself back into that a pound per week and staying as close to that maintenance caloric target as possible and waiting for your body to adapt to make that your intake your new maintenance. Now we can just play this game where we're moving the stake. This is the same concept of goal setting, right? Like if I'm going to run a marathon, I'm going to run 26.2 miles. I don't wake up tomorrow and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go run a fucking marathon. I'll see you guys in 5 hours and leave. In preparation for a marathon, first I'm going to run 2 miles and then 4 miles. And I'm going to get to a place where I could start running 8, 9 miles. And then maybe as I get closer to my race, I'm going to start doing some 15 miles. Right. And then the day of the marathon, I already know what it feels like to get that 26 miles because maybe I did a 20 miler. I've been consistently running 15. So adding 6 to 20 is a lot different than just going and running 26. What we want to do is we want to set our goals close enough to where we perceive them to be attainable within a short term. Then when we get there or right before we get there, we move the stake. In a perfect world, you never actually reach your goal because every time you're about to get there, you move the stake. That's how you keep purpose, keep passion, keep drive, keep ambition, and stay motivated towards the things that you're trying to create for your life, is you continue to move the stake. And that's how you avoid becoming stagnant and then your standards lowering, or even worse, backtracking. You want to move the stake. So it's the same concept with your food, except the other way, right? If my maintenance calories, just off the top of my head, are like 2,500, I should be eating between 2,000 and 2,200 calories a day and just hanging out right around that area. And then once I get to a place where I've lost 20 or 30 pounds, then I move that stake again. And my intake will probably be between 16 and 1800 at that point. And so you keep going. The reason why you're probably not losing the weight, Jason, is because your food consumption is you're no longer in a deficit. How do I get in really good shape? For my height and weight, I'm 6'3" and 200 pounds. Just because I'm skinny does not necessarily mean I am shaped. Just wondering. Well, Luke, I want you to take a second to ask yourself, what does being in shape mean to you? Okay. So going even further, when we talk about fitness, what is the definition of fitness? Fitness, dick in your mouth. No, I'm just kidding. So fitness is just being physically competent to perform whatever thing that you're trying to accomplish physically. Okay. So for a football player, fitness is a lot different than a power lifter, which is a lot different than a gymnast, which is a lot different than a racquetball player. They're all fit. So before you can answer the question, how do I get in really good shape? The question that you need to be able to answer for yourself is, what shape do you want to be in? You said that you're skinny. Okay. Do you want to be more muscular? Do you want to be stronger? Do you want to be faster, more agile? Do you have an end game? When you start answering those questions, then we can reverse engineer that goal and start making a plan that was going to take you there. But to give you the short answer, how do you get in really good shape? You do things that are difficult for you physically that are similar to what you want to do. So, good example, if you want to get stronger, your goal should be to lift heavier weights. So go lift heavy weights and you'll get stronger. If you want to get faster, you should just go run fast every day. And eventually, over time, you'll get faster if you just go run fast all the time. You want to get good at pull-ups? Do a lot of pull-ups. That's literally how you do it. It's pretty basic. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just call it a night for this one. I feel like I've been fucking giving you guys a lot of value. It's been awesome hanging out with you guys. Just a quick reminder before I go. So on Thursday nights, we also do a call called the Iron Forge group coaching. Okay. And the purpose of the Iron Forge is twofold. Okay. So if you're an Iron Forge member, the price is $24.99 a month. It's really cheap. And so basically what you get is you get access to all of the programs that I offer, the shredding season, the bulking season, volumes 1 and 2, power builder, garage athlete, the body weight plans. You get access to all my nutritional training, my past training content. But most importantly, on Thursday nights at 9 p.m., we do a Zoom call. And the purpose of that Zoom call is two things. The first is to do a question, provide coaching. If you need help or input or feedback, or you have something going on that you want me to specifically address and mentor you on, that's your opportunity to do that. On Thursdays, I post in our Facebook group, hey, ask me a question. And those questions will get answered after the Iron Forge members. So if we have time and I see questions in the group, I'll make sure that I answer those questions as well. Okay. And then we also live stream the Zoom call. So you still get to take advantage. But if you want to be on that call with me, plus get access to all the other stuff that I described, join the Iron Forge. We have a lot of long-time clients who have been doing the Iron Forge every week. We'll make the argument, and I actually agree, that the $24.99 a month is the absolute best value of anything within this business that I offer. That includes the one-on-one coaching as well as fire teams, all of it. Okay. I think on the website as well, there's an option for you to get lifetime access to the Iron Forge. So you pay once, it's $200, really cheap, and you get it forever. Okay. And so if you want to go and be on that call with me on Thursday, make sure you go over to the website, theironforge.us, and you'll see an option on the top that says join the Iron Forge. Jump in there and you'll be able to get that opportunity to be mentored by me every week, be part of this call, and integrate yourself within the community. Okay. And so with that said, Thursday, 9 p.m., we will be going live specifically inside of the Facebook group. Okay. So this doesn't go out to the general public. Only the members of the Facebook group get access to this call. You guys get to watch and hang out. So make sure you put it on your calendar. I'll be going live again on Thursday, and I'll be here to do the same type of coaching, except the only difference is we got all the other guys who are on the call as well. If that's something that you'd like to be a part of, again, go to theironforge.us, and that's the website. You'll find the option there, join the Iron Forge. If you have trouble, shoot me a message. I'll get you squared away. And I think I saw a question in there earlier that asked when the next fire team started. So just a heads up, fire team's registration for the class that starts on June 5th opens on the 15th. Okay. So on the 15th, which is next Monday, we'll be opening up 12 more slots for Fire Team Charlie. And the first 12 slots, once they're gone, the price for the fire team's coaching is $500. There's also an option to do a payment plan, which is 6 payments of $100 if you'd like to do the budget-friendly option and separate that payment over time. If you have questions about fire teams, also make sure you send me a message. I'll give you a video that explains exactly how it works, and we'll get you on board. But like I said, once those slots are gone, they're gone. And fire teams is a pretty phenomenal offer, so make sure you jump on that. Again, registration will open for that Monday. So there's a few options for different things that you can sign up for. Obviously, it really just depends on how much involvement you want from your coach, how much attention you want from your coach, and what your budget is. Outside of that, guys, I really appreciate you hanging out. It's always a pleasure.